When these are dry, take off all the clamps, and you're going to go through the exact same routine as we did for the other face. This one happens to be the back. We're going to taper the edges, taper them down, and then round the top, just like you did before on the belt sander. Now this time, this board's in the way, so I'm going to show you how to put a small notch so it'll sit flat and keep this side flat the whole time. Take your sandpaper like we did before and sand the tops and sides and kind of soften any sharp edges, not sanding the bottom edge because we want to keep that nice and flat. Doesn't take very much. Okay, now that they're sanded, we need to put them on. That goes there, that goes in the middle, that goes at the bottom. So, we'll start with the top one. Put it in place, left and right, so it's even with the ends of the drawing there that we did earlier. Then simply sight down and put a pencil line on either side of this piece in the middle, the one that's in the way. Then we simply turn it 90 degrees and take your pencil and trace to get the height. So now it may or may not show up. You can kind of see the box right there. We're going to go to the bandsaw and cut that out. Then repeat the same thing on the other two. Now when we cut, we need to make a series of in and outs to get the depth. And then we may kind of skim the edge a little, so it almost looks like we're cutting sideways, but all the material's already gone, so we're just barely nicking the teeth. Now that you've got the notches cut, put them on and double check. If you feel that it's rocking on this piece, or that, in other words, your notches here aren't cut deep enough, we don't want that. We want this to be able to hit and be glued to the entire surface. So if this is high in the middle, it's not going to work very well. So the first one, I don't feel any rocking. The second one feels pretty good. Actually, that goes at the top. That's better. And that one goes there. So I cut them deep enough. That's good. I'd rather it be a little too deep and not rock than to have these touching this. That's okay. So these need to be clamped down just like you did before. And put a little bit of glue here so it is glued to this also. So all the bracing kind of works together as we go. You're going to repeat just like you did before with all the clamps, and we'll get this thing flattened out a bit. Now notice that I put the clamps as far inside as I could. It's because this board is still rocking out. So I need more pressure in the middle. The outside will already be tight. So that depends specifically on your piece and how it's formed and shaped. So again, I have this wet paper towel right here right next to me to kind of wipe away the glue as I go. But that's important. You want to get rid of as much of that as you can. So I'll glue these and then go back and finish the others. All right, so the clamps are on, but this big one, I've found that there's still a bit of a gap in between here and here, so it's still bending a little bit. So all I'm gonna do is just take a little piece of, this is leftover material that I use for this bracing, and just stick another clamp on it, and that will help hold it down. So there's a lot of, you know, if this happens, then do this, that I can't account for. So it depends again on how this lays out, depending on how many clamps you'll need to put on. But again, let's let this dry and then we'll move on.